Railroad, you take instead of going on straight to Fort Dix, take that other road right there for the gas station. And that takes you right up to Arney's Mountain. It's about a mile and a half. And it's quite a little mount out there, and this meeting house is up on top of it, up on the side.
Well, I took a minister out there with me, and he looked at there was something there about stones. It was a stone quarry there and everything.
Oh, all the farmers used to years ago got their, there was rail fences. Maybe you don't know what a rail fence is, but
Sure,
it was about 10 foot long, and they're split up logs into rails, and they used to make fences out of them. And they get the stone. They always put a big stone on the ground first before they started to put the rails on. You know, the rails went this way, crossways. Every other one for about 8 high.
here's a picture. That belonged to my aunt. This is really old. That farm is down near the firing range, what they call Taylor's Mound, up here at Fort Dix. That's a rail fence. I found that I lost my aunt.
I've never seen one like that.
2 years ago, and I found this in
No,
one of
they're-
the longings.
They're all gone nowadays.
Yeah, they're all gone.
They used to be an awful mess in the winter time. The rail fences, when we used to have good snows then years ago, and when the wind blew, it would blow the darn snow, and the rail fences along the road would hold that snow. So by gosh, all the snow out of the fields blowed into the road. Then you had to get crews of men that didn't have no scrapers or nothing. You had to do everything by hand and shovel it all off to get a road so you could travel on.
Well, I guess he would want to start from where you began to farm. Is that what your idea is?
Yes, I'd be interested in some
So
information
if you
on
want
the
this in
Grange.
order, I mean,
You,
I know. If you want this in order, well, you tell us now how you want it.
Well, if you want to go in some order, I guess we could start with some information on the Grange around here.
The what?
The Grange.
Oh, the Grange?
The information on the Grange, he said.
Oh, mm-hmm.
Well, you can give that better than I can.
Well, I've been secretary a good while. I've been trying to get a hold of the books today, but I haven't been successful yet. I called our state master and...
Talk a little louder, Mother. I
Yeah.
think he wants to.
Well, anyway, I'm still trying to get them because this Grange dissolved here some time ago, and we had wonderful records. And they're supposed to be turned over to the state. And I called this morning to see if we couldn't get those records. Now, this Grange used to meet down here on Hanover Street, where the Masonic Lodge is. I don't know.
That's just side.
You know where the bank, old bank is? Down here
That's
where the
just side of the railroad.
Borough Hall is?
Yes.
Well, it's down here on that street.
Right
They used
the other
to,
side of the Borough Hall. Yeah.
uh-huh.
Yeah.
I never knew what that was.
And before they
Well, I don't think it tells what it says. I don't think it tells that it's the Masons.
well, there are Masonic emblems on the front. You would know it by that. And then they met there when they first organized. And then later, they bought the old school from the Pemberton Borough Board of Education, which is a building here now where the library is. Right? That's where they own that ground there. And they broke up, and then they reorganized. And I know Isaac Rogers, and I'm pretty sure he's relation to Bill Stead's wife. He was one of the first members. And Henry Lippincott, H.R. Lippincott was secretary. And some of the farmers around here, like Garrett Kramer, the Howard Emmons, and Clifford Emmons, they were our early Rangers. And Chester Gaunt. Now this is all being taken down, right?
Yes.
Mm-hmm. And I just don't know how many, but nearly everyone in town belonged to that Grange. I know Dr. Hollingshead and his wife belonged to it. And they used to buy like their fertilizer in carload lots. And each farmer would take so much fertilizer, but that's the way the fertilizer came in.
Grass seed too.
Yeah. And then, but we weren't, I wasn't living here at the time, but my husband was living here.
No, I wasn't very darn old then, not when they reorganized.
Well, later, I think it was in the around 17 or 18 along there, he joined the Grange because he wanted to play baseball. And you had to be a Granger to play baseball, so he was a baseball player. And he joined at that time, and then after we were married, I joined, and he went in as master of the Grange, working himself up and went in as master. And we lived out here, that what's known as a Kirby farm. You know, well, that's where we lived, 17 years there. And so I just don't know what more to tell you on that Grange. There's many things happen, of course, in all that time. See, he was very young, and so was I. But he went through the chairs and was master in there about eight different times.
7, I think, Mother.
Yes, and well, maybe 7 or 8. I just don't know.
I think it was 7.
And you know, it is through the Grange that we have the state police. They sponsored the rural delivery of mail and all the state troopers. Now, a good many people do not know that. That was through the Granges that we have those two things. And they've meant a lot to New Jersey. And it was mostly, and they sold insurance. Mostly the farmers had this Grange insurance. And they did several things for the borough and for outlying districts. And, but as for their crops and that, my husband would have to tell you, because my father was a farmer, but I wasn't allowed out, you know, in the fields and that. We weren't allowed. I come from the Wrightstown area, so, but after we were married, I lived here. So he'd have to tell you more on the crops than I could, what he grew. That's what you're interested in, I guess.
Yes, all of this stuff is very interesting so far. All of this stuff is very interesting so far. Everything you mentioned.
I don't catch it.
Everything that we've said so far is very helpful.
It is.
Yes. That's what I was looking
But did you
for.
have any questions there? I could probably answer those better than I could to think back so much.
That's the
because
way with me. I could answer.
I just don't have so many things to go. If I only had the books for a little bit, you know, I could help you so much. But
Yeah, I'm trying to think of something about the Grange that I could ask you, but I'm not that familiar with it myself.
you're not.
No, not really.
Are you familiar with the 4-H club?
Yes, I know what that is.
Have you ever worked in it?
No.
And well, on the home economics part, we had a home economics committee in the Grange and also in the county. And I have worked on that. I worked here in the Grange with it, and I'm a charter member of the organization in Mount Holly, the Home Economics Council. And we, with the Board of Freeholders, hired the first agent here in Burlington County. And Mrs. Mary Allen from Vincenttown, who was a farmer's wife, was as a charter member of that committee also. And Mrs. Herbert L. Adams of Edgewater Park, who was still living. And Mrs. Carolyn Armstrong from Jobstown. I have to think a minute or two. And Mrs. Richard Burtis, who used to live right out here, was on that committee too. And we helped to get that started here in Burlington County, and it's been a big help through here. And they told us when we started this work here that later they wanted the 4-H club work. Well, we found this such a huge task that we asked for a leader. And they did send to us a leader, and just see how that's grown in Burlington County. I hear the reports and read in the paper of the things they're doing. It's just wonderful, I think. So they used to participate in the Trenton State Fair, put on exhibits from here. Used to do that. Grange did. And
That would be vegetables and stock that would prize stock, understand what I mean? And good crops, vegetables, and they build a big room, big as this, and have it for a display.
And a lot of those things that you did receive from the county farms up here at New Lisbon, they used to have farms up here, you know, used to produce milk and everything at the county buildings, which they don't do now. We built a college up there and things like that. So you see how things have changed. But they used to have their own produce for the people there. And I'm just trying to think back.
What other types of projects has the Grange worked on? You mentioned a number of projects that the Grange had worked on, such as the 4-H, such as rural free delivery, and the state police.
Yeah.
What were there any other projects of that type, or are those
Oh,
the
there
main
were
ones?
projects of all kinds.
They,
Whatever. And now, during the Second World War, I helped with the USO. I went from represented the Grange from this area and went up to Fort Dix where they have the USO buildings, and we donated up there. Many things we did during the war, the farmers did. And you know, way back there, we didn't have the good roads we have today. You hear people complain about the roads today, but we didn't have the good roads, you know.
we had sand roads, a good many of them.
Yes, and when,
of course, we were both brought up in the horse and buggy day, well to call it. There wasn't no automobiles. We didn't have any automobiles much. The first automobile I had was I was 23-year-old when I had an automobile. I had a truck and drove for my daddy on the farm and hauled produce from Vincenttown to Philadelphia. But cars was about out of the picture. There was very, very few cars.
Maybe you could tell me some more information about how the Grange helped in starting the state police.
now, I couldn't exactly tell you how that started because the state Grange entered the picture. All the Granges, remember there's 10 Granges here in Burlington County. I think that should be noted. There's 10 Granges, and Morristown was the leading Grange at that time. And then Columbus Grange. And you know, that's still Burlington County, Columbus Grange. And that was very active. And I'm sure they have some pretty good records there. But it was the working together of these different Granges with the state that we got the state police. And they used to, when we had our conventions at Atlantic City, they always came down there and give a report and everything. And then my husband was on the committee with, that's one thing, he served on the committee with the state police here for Burlington County. And we've done it since we've come in town. And somebody raps on your door and puts his lapel back, you know, like that, you let him in. You know what that is, don't you? FBI. And we've cooperated with them. And also the state troopers. You see, we weren't fully policed here when we first moved in town. We weren't fully policed. And you could call the state police in. They are for the rural area. That was their main object. But if you're not fully policed in the town, like I don't think we're fully policed. I think Bill Jarvis is full-time for the daytime. Maybe after 12 o'clock, maybe we don't have anybody on. But you can call on them. There's not too many people seem to know that, but you can. And they have helped us out tremendously all over the state when it comes to that. So it was kind of nice when you go out, you meet a fellow you knew. And all the time we were on the farm, we cooperated with them.
They'd come around to see you a couple, 3 times a year, maybe.
My husband has been up to Wilbertha. They have their barracks up there, you know, above Trenton. Been up there to their banquets, and I worked in with them. So, now, is there anything else I can tell you besides?
Well, let's see.
We've donated to the fire company. We've done things like that. Donated to many things as far as that goes. Many things.
The hospital, I think, we donated to that. To the hospital, they're
Yes.
donated to that, I think, too.
Also, we helped build the log cabin for the YWCA, Blaetz. Grange was in the back of that.
I think I know where that is.
It's a girls', I think, out where Matillianic Way. It's there. And the Grange paid for that building there. Not Pemberton Grange in particular, but we participated in that project. And Guy Henry was the leader here in Burlington County for the YW at the time.
All right.
And that's being used even today.
Well, if that's about it, is that about it for the Grange? Or can you think of anything
Yes,
else?
and I will tell you this. Now, if I get a hold of those books, I'll give you more detailed information.
That would be very helpful.
Yeah, because I think somewhere along the lines, we're pretty well acquainted in the county. And we've worked a lot, just not with Grange, but other organizations. And in fact, I was one of the first presidents over here at PTA when this little school was built. And I've worked in that. And so if I receive these books, I certainly will give you the name of the leaders and when it was reorganized. But some of these people around here have given much of their time. I want to make note that Owen Oakman was another one that had given much of his time here. And Elmer Ford, that's Ralph Ford's father, was another one. Pearl Zelly. And so you
They're all dead now.
Yeah, most of them are gone. This is Howard Emmons Jr. out here, has the milk place. But that's, and I'm trying to tell you who's Clifford Emmons' son, Sam Emmons, lives right here in Pemberton. He's one of the, there's several girls. One married a Hackerty from Vincenttown. But there is much that Grange has done, but I'm not able to tell you without a little something to go by. I took down and helped write the history of the Grange, and it's just too bad that something wasn't asked before this, while the Grange was really working, here. What's happened, most of the farms has been bought up around here, and the people have just given up Grange work.
I can remember, and on this road from Pemberton to Vincenttown, there were 14 farms on that road that had dairies. One today. One farm today.
And my husband's uncle used to be an engineer of the UT Railroad. He was, used to run from Hightstown to Pemberton. That's the only transportation we had to get from one place to the other years ago. It was by train. The high school students used to come up here from Cookstown, Norwegian, and Ricetown on that UT. And it would come up in the morning, and then I think around the middle of the afternoon, it would go back. And that's how the pupils, high school pupils, came in here to the Pemberton Borough.
That's when they went to school over here, right in front of the library.
Mm-hmm.
That's the one they
That's
just tore down.
Just tore down, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
That's how they first came in here.
But that's hard to believe.
It's
Coming on train
when you
trains.
think back, you're not taking this down now, are you?
Yeah. This is all going down, yes.
My father farmed on the. Do you know where the satellite is on the
Yes, I know where
Ricetown
that is.
Cookstown Road? The farm this way, the big white house, and there's a coffee shop right alongside of it. And I think they have a laundromat there now.
Yep, they do.
Remember the big white house, right? The air base runs right there.
Yes, I know what you mean.
Well, that's where I lived. That's where I was from.
Really?
My father
Right
had to
there.
sell that in the First World War because we just couldn't get enough help. The 200
Everybody went to work at Fort Dix.
Yeah. And I'll show you a few pictures I have of that before you leave. And that was in the horse and buggy days. And that road was all the dirt road, gravel,
Gravel road.
And we'd get the snow or anything. My father would be out with a big sleigh, and all the farmers would join, dig their way into Ricetown to get their milk there. Because it went by, there was 2 creameries up there at the time, and that's where our milk was delivered. But Dad was pretty much a potato grower. He had 45 cows and 9 horses. And you know, in that day and age, you had to get up early and get your milk off. But that's where I lived when I came to Pemberton. And it was really interesting because I was there all during that war, till late 1918, to see how people had to do. We used to have an ice house to fill, big ice house. All the outbuildings had been burned there. There were a lot of outbuildings there, lovely buildings there.
Had no electric then. Everything was lights,
That's
lanterns.
Right. Mm-hmm. And we had I think there was something like 7 or 9 bedrooms there. I can remember it was Friday. We had to sweep with a broom.
Oh, good grief.
It doesn't seem possible, but where they started the first building there for the air base was the Ed Budding Farm, and all those buildings are gone. Every one of them. Every one. And
Well, a lot of those buildings, Mother, where the air base is, wasn't done during the First World War. It was done afterwards, yeah,
Mhm.
because they
Well,
moved the air base from up in up in New York State.
We're recording tonight from the home of Earl and Birdie Sager, 24 Hanover Street. That's the correct number. This is June 19th, 1974, and we're resuming the interview that we began with Edward Karlinski. And we've been talking about the pictures of cranberry pickers, or planters, we're not sure which they are, in sunbonnets. And Birdie has said she thinks these are probably local people with the sunbonnets on. Do you think?
I think they are, because it looks like the spring of the year, and they didn't come up at that time of the year. The maid got some men up on the boards, not the women, but they had more women. They had more pickers in the fall, and they would come up with trainloads, and all the farmers on the road would take their teams to South Pemberton Station and take up. They'd have to bring their bedding and stuff like that, and their clothes and stuff, and they'd take them right out to the Cranberry House, Ted Bud's, at Retreat. And that's where they housed them all. Then they would go out from there and pick their cranberries then. But I never knew them to come up in the spring. I think they had local help for resetting their cranberry boards when they did it.
And you said the term they used for that was punching them?
Something is different than what we would for setting out tomatoes. We set tomatoes, but they used a different term. I ain't sure what it was. Because I wasn't acquainted, but I heard my Aunt Hazel. She used to pinch. I'm pretty sure she said she used to punch cranberry vines for the man that owned the store ahead of Marsh Platt. What the deuce was his name? He had cranberries. I can't think of it now. But that's been a long while ago too. And these people, when they came up here from the city, from Philly, they had their whole families, children and everything, you see. They'd take them out, right out on the bogs, like guys to the best. And it's been known for a lady to have a child right on the cranberry bog. Yep. Wrap it up and go right on to work. That's what I've heard. I wouldn't vouch for that.
And I think Clifford Arbud, Theodore's father, I think that family would have some knowledge of this.
Oh yeah.
Oh, yes.
Well, young Ted here too.
And his brother, Eddie.
They would know because they're right into it now. They went into the, you know, there was a few years that the cranberry business got pretty bummed. What put cranberries, I think, on the market is up to Bordentown, where they make that drink.
Yeah. Well, cranberry juice.
Cranberry juice.
Cocktail.
Cocktails.
That's what's brought that
That's
business
what
back.
brought the cranberry business back on its feet. It was.
Yeah.
It was getting down pretty well. A lot of them, they couldn't even afford to take care of their bogs as they should. They would grow up. But I'm only giving you as I hear,
Yes.
not as I've seen it, because I never was.
What years do you think were the bad years?
Well, during the Depression years, it got terrible. Yes, it got bad then. Then they started into not bringing the help from the city. They got men to scoop them. They've done all the scooping for near. Now they don't.
And that would have been local men.
Well, some Italians too come up. Yeah, because there was a bunch of Italians that I had the last year, and I had tomatoes on the farm. That's 27 years ago, I guess. They never worked on the bog Sundays, and I got bogged down, couldn't get the help, and I got a hell of a lot of tomatoes, and I went up there on a Sunday morning and seen the pickers up there, and they come out, and I got I guess around 15 one Sunday there, and they picked me over 1,000 baskets. That one day.
This was your farm on the
On that Berger Mill Road, you
on
know.
Burrs Mill Road.
Yeah, you know where that is. Turns off of the Vincenttown Road as you're going around the corner.
That's not when you lived on the farm where the Kirby's are.
No, but we used to see them haul the cranberry pickers when we lived on the farm.
See, they go by our place.
They went right by our place. Then they went right on down by where we sold out too, down the Burrs Mill Road. That's where they went to go to the cranberry bogs up there.
What other families besides Bud's raised cranberries?
Oh, there was several around Pemberton here in town. But the Buds and New Lisbon man, what the deuce, he used to go to church at Earl himself. You know who I mean.
I didn't hear the question.
Reeves.
Oh,
He had a lot of cranberries up there.
Bill Reeves.
Bill Reeves. And Tom Early here, he had cranberries because they had them over there, the relatives of his, after he left.
I get cranberries and blueberries confused, and I say I get cranberries and blueberries confused. As
Well, I think you would, because a lot of them took their blueberries or cranberries out and went into blueberries.
How about Elmer Haynes? Did he have the cranberries?
Elmer? A young Elmer. See, his father, Isaiah, was the boss for White's for years. Lived up there in that place. And then young Elmer came into Bud's when he was quite young to help out with the blueberries there, but he didn't last very long there. And first thing you know, he was buying his own blueberries and marketing that.
But he never had cranberries.
No.
Well, I guess
He knew the business.
he probably knew the business from his father, because his father was the head cranberry man up to
See,
White's.
they hired Isaiah once, did you know? And I think Harold Haynes, and then they said, you know, what would be better for Elmer to, you know, be somewhere else. I guess they had that much help up there then at that time. So that, but he married young and got right into the blueberry business for himself. And he really knew the business.
And that was when
Blueberries.
that was when the blueberry business was a business.
Yes.
It's got pretty tough.
Well, I think his mother
Going now,
had it too
so-
with him, you know, the first.
I think what's helped the blueberry growers an awful lot is the pickers, the picking machines that they've got.
Yes.
Because it was costing too much. And the labor situation, you had to guarantee them so much a day, or so much an hour. Well, whether they picked one box of blueberries or 5 boxes of blueberries, you had to pay them the same price. And people just wouldn't hire them because they'd go out and take a couple boxes, sit down and go to sleep.
Were the blueberry pickers brought in too?
No, that was mostly, well, now I say no.
They bring them in by bus now, but I mean,
Yeah.
when you were young.
Well, when we were young, the blueberry business wasn't a blueberry business then.
There's huckleberries around,
There
wild
was
huckleberries.
none of the wild huckleberries. That's, I guess when we first got married, maybe there might have been a few getting started. Miss White, maybe, she was one of the big growers.
Well, I'll tell you who was one of the pioneers, because I sat in the office with him in Mount Holly Agriculture Board, and that was Stanley.
Stanley Cole.
Stanley Cole.
Yeah.
Of course, we have the history of the blueberry, but I don't recall the exact date.
You do have the history. That's
Yeah,
good.
Stanley,
Because
Stanley was certainly very well read up on that and knew, because I sat in good many meetings, joint meetings with the Agriculture Board. And, I didn't know what was getting in with them on that ladies' committee. But it was interesting just the same, because he was from another state, you know, he was from Massachusetts.
well, there was 3 or 4 men that lived here in town that had blueberry or cranberries. Nick Clevenger was another one that was a cranberry grower.
What was his first name?
Newton, I guess. I don't know what. That's all I ever heard was
He
Newton
was a coal
Clevenger.
dealer here too.
He had a coal business over there on this side, on the north side. I don't know whether there was a building there when you come here or
North
not.
side of what?
Right across the railroad track from where the North South Station was.
Oh.
There was a.
Where that car lot is now.
Yeah. No, on the other side of it. Oh, I'll tell you,
That food distribution.
right where that food place is, back in there. They had a coal yard there.
I wanted to ask you too, because the first take was a little garbled, where you were telling about living on the Kirby farm. I believe when you lived on, I think it was on the Kirby farm, when you first got electricity.
Yeah, that's where we lived.
Catch, I still don't catch it.
I wanted to ask you about when you
Yes,
first got electricity.
Don't be afraid to talk up. Because she,
Well, it was in 1936 before we got electricity out there.
is that when it was? I don't remember the date. But,
That must have made a big difference in your life.
I guess
God.
it did. I should say.
we had to do everything by hand before we got that.
And you
Well,
had cows then.
Oh, yeah, that was my main living, was cows. It was,
well, not
Dairy.
only that, they, your milk kind of be so cold to send in,
Types of things that
you
they
know,
sell
to
in the store.
deliver. And you just couldn't possibly do it with ice. It cost a fortune. We tried that. And all the farmers were up against it the same way. And so the electric company came through there for the Roller Rock farm. And where the Bubbers lived, all those, George Harper and all of them, were all pulled together to get that electric. So that was a must then, you know, just couldn't be done without.
How
well,
did you manage without, before the, how did you manage without it? How did you manage without the electricity before it came through?
well, we had to buy
Ice.
Ice. We bought ice off of Benny
Ben
Haynes.
Haynes delivered ice up there.
Benny Haynes was a big ice man here in town.
He delivered ice.
That's where he made, I guess, his money. Then he got in.
Well, he's been in the cranberry business too.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, he's got.
He's the one who had the ice house along the creek.
No, he got his ice from Hollingshead, my Holly. I don't know whoever had the ice house here along the creek.
I don't know. There apparently was one behind Joe Blue's funeral parlor at one time.
Oh, ice house?
Yeah, but that's not along the creek, of course.
No.
I don't know who had that one.
Well, you see, a lot of farmers then had ice houses of their own and filled them in the winter. We always did it.
Well, my father built ice house for years.
Yeah,
we didn't
used
have electric then when I was
we,
home.
that's the only way we had of
We had cold
refrigeration in the house was the ice house. Then I'll tell you, I never seen but one farm like it. But we lived on a farm over the other side of Mount Holly when I was a boy. We only lived there a couple of years. But that had an ice house. And right along, joined right up to the ice house was a cellar that you went in. And that cellar was always wet from the dampness from the ice. And that's where my mother used to keep her stuff.
Yeah.
She had to go out of the house, though, and down a set of steps. About 10
That's out where the golf course is.
Yeah.
That big place.
Yeah.
Now Holly Broughton Road.
I wanted to ask you about, did you make butter on the farm when you lived there?
Well,
Not after I've made butter. But when we've had a whole milk cone, sometimes they require you to put milk cone. Couldn't ship on so much, and I've made butter then. But my mother and father always made butter. Had the cream. We always made butter.
well, when her mother and father was shipping milk then, it was a little different than when we were shipping. Because they shipped a quart of milk was a quart of milk, regardless of what it tested. And after we got into the business, you had to sell your milk by the butterfat test. And of course, if you skimmed the cream off of it, you took the butterfat off of it.
Well, we didn't do that. Dad just left somebody put some milk home. He didn't skim all his milk.
No, I didn't say he did, Mother.
He used to bring a big container of milk in every day, and Mother would let that milk sit, and then take the cream off the top after a day or so. But no, he never skimmed it. I know it has been done, but he never did that. But that's the way it was before the butterfat test. But we had 45 cows, and so we had quite a bit of milk. You could only ship so much milk, too. It seems a shame today you can't get those things.
You mostly always had, all the farmers had a surplus of milk in May and June. May was the worst month when you first turned out to pasture. And they would shoot right up, because some of the farmers then didn't feed cows like they do nowadays, because they've got the analysis of your feed down so that they know just what to feed a cow to produce milk. And then an awful lot of cornmeal was fed, and that don't make no milk at all. It only keeps the cow fat. So you got to take other things into consideration with it.
How would electricity affect your life, Birdie?
Electric? Well, it affected it quite a bit because I had a sweeper, and refrigeration and many things, and the washing machine, things like that. And certainly affected me a lot because I had 11 rooms, you know, and then we used to cook for the help, hired help, and so that meant a lot of work.
You must have remembered, I bet it's a vivid
I
memory,
think
isn't it?
sweeping was the biggest thing, because when you have 11 rooms and you go through every week, you know.
With a broom.
Yeah. Say nothing about other appliances you would have in the house.
No wonder they used to wear sweeping caps.
Hmm?
No wonder they used to wear sweeping caps.
Yes, they did. The sweeping caps is right. But, you know, people that didn't have that don't realize. It's like not having water. You never miss it till it's turned off or something.
No, then we had to pump all our water behind too, you see.
Yes, you see.
Had nothing to run electric pump with, you had to pump it all behind.
But then you did have a gasoline motor there for a few years.
Yeah,
After
we
you had
did.
artesian water.
We did. We had, well, after we lived out there 4 years, why, well, Mr. Lippincott died, but we would run short of drinking water for the cows. And we had to drive them in the wintertime down the back lane. I had to dam up a ditch down there to hold the water back, then break the ice so the cows could get a drink. So he finally, after the old man died, Richard Lippincott had charge of the farm. He drilled a well, 193 foot. And we had plenty of water, but we had no way to get it without getting a gasoline engine to run the pump. And that's what we used, still used till we left there. After we got the electric, well, we still used the gasoline motor for the pump the water, the same as we had. Of course, we had a tank then, a storage tank to put it
There's
in.
what it used to look like when we lived out there.
Oh, yes. That is a big house.
Yeah, well, yes, you said it, great big hallway, open stairway, 2 stairways. This, the hallway was almost as large as these 2 rooms.
Looks a good deal like the front of our house.
Hmm?
Looks a good deal like the front of our house.
Yes. Oh, yeah. And then these are iron pots here we have. We used to have flowers in those. It was a beautiful, long, beautiful tree. It doesn't look like that now. This is on the picture. Are you taking this? I just want to show you. This is a borrow plant from
That's interesting.
Uncle Dolly Hoffman. Before
Is this
it was
the one in
sold out to-
Birmingham?
Yes. Mm-hmm. And this is Marguerite's father. Oh, wait, just a minute. Right there. That's her.
Now, what would they be doing down in there? Would
Digging
they-
marl.
Digging it by hand. And what is this?
Well, Earl can tell you better on that. I don't know.
What is this? Looks like a funnel here.
Oh, why, marl pits, after you got down so far, they mostly would spring water in. And you had to keep one corner of your pit, as you're digging down, one corner of your pit lower than the rest, so that the water would run in. Then they had a man would work that thing there to pump the water up out of it.
Oh, I see.
That's what that was for, so there's a trough to run the water away from it. Where'd you ever get that, Mother?
Why, they gave it to me.
Did they?
Yeah. The Hoffmans gave it to me. Now, Marguerite must have some pictures.
And
Oh,
that
what?
marl was all dug by hand then?
Hmm?
The marl was all dug by hand?
Yeah,
Oh, yes.
yeah.
And they used that for fertilizer, is that?
Well, not exactly. That Uncle Billy, local people did spread their grass with it as a fertilizer. But what he shipped up to New York, went to some kind of a chemical place, and they and they used it in the making of these water softeners. And I don't know, I guess they don't use it now because they don't use no marl from down here anymore. They're into a chemical business of some kind. Inex, yeah.
Now, when you say they shipped it to New York, that's by rail, I suppose.
Yeah, Yeah, we had these flat gondola cars. It would take us 2 days with 3 teams hauling the marl to load those cars. And we'd have about 80 ton on a car to go up to New York that way. And I was going to say about those marl pits, they're dangerous. I never heard tell of anybody getting killed or anything with them. But we had one day. Uncle Billy used to always stand and watch us when we was getting down close to the limit of digging, because we had a 16 to 18 foot topsoil that we had to throw off before you got down to your marl. Well, that topsoil that you threw off went back into the hole that you had dug before. So that brought it up pretty near level. But then we would take out somewhere around 16, 18 foot of marl out of that pit. And by the time you got down to the bottom, that marl would begin to get soft. And he would watch the sides of the pit, see if there was any cracks starting in it. And I come out on the bucket one time, left my shovel and my spade, what I was digging with, and it was just the handle of it sticking out the top where it covered it up. Well, I didn't think so much of it then.
You mean it could have a landslide come in on you?
Yeah. You could have had a flop. It could have, what it did, it slid in instead of flopping in. And if it flops in, well, you're done, because that'd bury you right up. And so...
It never happened to anybody, though.
No, it never happened to anybody, and I didn't let it happen to me, because another pit later afterwards, we was digging it, and we went for dinner. And when we come back, the darn pit is caved in. So I told Uncle Billy, I said, you can find another job for me. I said, I'm done digging marl. I'm not going down them holes no more.
Did you do that before you were farming?
No, I only done it 1 year, just when I worked for him, 1 year. When I left home, went there, worked for him 1 year, then I went on this farm out here.
And you were just very young.
Yeah, I was only about 22 then, 23.
Do you know approximately when they stopped digging marl?
No, I don't know how long the Birmingham kept on digging. I don't know. You know, they put in heavy machinery down there and dug it with scoops and loaded it on a little dinky train and run it into the factory or foundry or whatever you want to call it there, the mill.
Right there at Birmingham.
Birmingham, right to the station there,
Well,
yeah.
it was a Bermuda company.
Yeah.
Probably.
I tell you, he can tell you it's Raymond Davis because he worked there.
Yeah, he could tell you. He knows the whole darn work.
He understands from A to Z.
Was there ever a train that ran from Birmingham over to Lumberton?
No, not from Birmingham, but from Mount Holly to Lumberton.
Yeah, but not from Birmingham.
No.
Where did the train go from Birmingham? And just
Only,
to Mount Holly?
just to Mount Holly, right on the Philly.
Somehow I had the impression it was a line that went south.
There was, from Ewansville
From Emmons.
into Vincenttown. It used to go across right where Charlie Green's got his
custard stand
Yep,
by the Route 206.
yeah. Followed Route 206 right across.
You know, Harry Jones's cousin was killed there. He was out one night, and what was it, foggy, wasn't it? And he stood Harvey Jones.
I don't know whether it was foggy or not, but he was standing up in the automobile, and somebody else was driving it. And that was when used to be train run through there, and they had these here big cross arm. Be careful of the locomotives, you know. By gosh almighty, he got off the road and hit the track and threw the automobile up in the air, and it throwed him up, and he hit on one of them bars and killed him.
Nice young man.
Huh?
Right.
How long ago was that?
Oh golly,
That's been years ago.
it was while we was out on a Lipcup place, wasn't it?
Yeah.
But we hadn't been there very darn long, guess
Yeah,
that.
I couldn't tell you exactly.
That's been
But,
quite a while ago.
Yeah. He was a cousin to Harry, and to Emma Jones here, and also to Walter, our Lord. Our mothers were sisters. A terrible thing.
Do you remember your first car, Earl?
Yeah, my first car of my own was a Model T Ford.
Remember the year you got it?
22. Yeah.
That's pretty
Well, that's
early.
the year. That's the year that I worked my uncle too. 22. I had 2 days off that year.
I have the picture of that.
I used to like to gun a little. And I had the first day of gun season and Thanksgiving Day. And the job it didn't rain both days, so I went called up the fellow from. I'd been thinking about getting a car. So I called up the fellow from Columbus. He come down and bought the Ford. $480, I think it was. Brand new.
He's rich with that.
I bet you had a treasure there. didn't
Oh,
you?
golly, yes it
You
is.
had a lot of fun with it?
Oh, yeah, we kept that for a good while. Then when I lived out here, old Mr. Lipcott died. He had a Oakland. And
What was his first name?
Richard, Henry Lipcott. Yeah, that was Henry Lipcott lived out there. And that was Richard's father that we farmed for. Well, I don't farm. In fact, I farmed for both of them. It was on share business. I wasn't a farm. I didn't rent. It was just on shares.
Did Henry Lippincott live in Pemberton in town?
No, he lived right out there in the house. It's a big house. And,
For 5 years we lived there, the first 5 years. And then he died, I had to live house after that.
So I'm sorry I interrupted you. You were talking about the car.
oh, so after he died, why he sold me his daddy's car. Well, then I traded tops with a fellow from Budtown. He had a he had a coupe, just a single body type, you know, single seat, and he wanted a sedan. By gosh, I said, well, I'll swap it. I wanted to get it made into a pickup. So I had to have my dad or uncle the Budtown to make me a body for the haul milk stuff. Where we used to have to use a horse and wagon every day.
Did you haul it into the railroad station?
Had to haul it in down here to the creamery. Where,
That's by the railroad track.
yeah,
The north station.
for a few years. Then I sold it down Jersey, and their truck picked it up right out front.
Did you come into Pemberton to buy all your supplies?
Yep, we're all
Was there anything?
Not long.
buying all of our supplies.
Yes, we did.
Your food and your farm supplies, and could you buy
No,
everything?
you didn't buy all your farm supplies.
No, I got a lot of some of our farm supplies from the Bowling County Supply.
In the Hollow.
Yeah.
They didn't have a branch out here at that time.
No, but they put one out here later. Yeah. But then Montgomery's, you could buy a lot of stuff here at that time.
J.G. Montgomery.
Then for machinery, why, mostly had to go to Mount Holly to get machinery. Fenimore's is what we used to deal in then.
And Hanover's father.
All your foods, you were able to buy all your food?
Yeah,
We
all
bought
of it.
most of her food here, yeah.
When we, believe it or not, when we got married, that store down here on the corner of that little street goes up back there.
Andrew Street?
Yeah, Howard Bounger had it.
That was later Mantles?
Yeah. Well, we went there one night and furnished our house when we got ready to go housekeeping.
And that's
Well,
was
most
Ballinger's.
of it.
That was Bounder's store, and downstairs you could buy anything that you wanted to eat. I didn't care what it was then that was on the market.
He had both sides of that store.
He had upstairs down.
Upstairs was furniture and downstairs food?
Yep.
Yard foods.
Hardware department and shoe department. Oh, gosh.
Work clothes, men's
Work
work
clothes,
clothes, lovely.
yeah.
Everything was good quality too.
Oh,
Very good quality.
you could go there and buy everything.
But sorry, I went out to some auctions and bought some furniture, Mary, off that he didn't have.
Well, they had
He did
auctions
that.
then too.
Yeah. That's all.
Oh, yeah. Them days there were more auctions than there were now, I think, in the
Oh,
winter.
yes, it was.
Yeah.
Of course, I followed that through for a good many years anyway.
Lots of people still are doing that.
Yes.
And let's see, besides Ballinger's stores, what other stores did you
Well,
go
it was
to?
Blaetz, where right on the corner, the very corner there.
Of Hanover and Elizabeth,
Yeah.
where Dr.
Where,
Yohannan is.
yeah. They had groceries and clothing, I think.
Well, Lawrence Potts' father's name, what was his name?
Charles.
Charles, yes. Young Charles, Marie Potts' son was named Charles, after grandfather.
It was Charles who had the store then.
Well, it was Charles that had the store to start with, then after he died, he left it to his son, Marsh. Because there wasn't any other children, was there?
Hmm?
Marsh didn't have any brothers or sisters, did he?
Well, Helen Platt was his sister.
Oh, yes, his sister, that's right.
Sure. One used to appear on the
Yeah.
corner.
And then I guess there was a blacksmith shop.
Oh, yeah, there was two blacksmith shops at one time here, where they keep the boats down there over
New
the,
house.
that was a blacksmith shop. And there was one, used to be right where the telephone central is out here, on this next street.
Oh, on Up Street.
Yeah, right on down the street from where,
Was there a place there that they painted wagons?
yes, there was a reel right there. Made wagons, I guess, and painted them.
And then a blacksmith shop also.
Yeah. I never was in it, but I've heard a lot about it.
His uncle was a blacksmith at Budtown. He had a blacksmith shop. He got the horses shod there.
Yeah.
We found that in the church.
Yeah,
Had it for
there
years.
was a lot of blacksmiths then because we had to depend on horse travel for most everything.
Well, it's your fault, and you know that yourself.
Do you remember who lived in the house where the American Legion is now?
Out here? No, I never knew anyone that lived there.
Oh, sure. Earl Lamb lived there.
No,
When I was president of PTA, he lived there, and when the mother was living, Bill Lamb's stepmother, sure, Bill lived out there. They lived out there a while.
Right on the corner of the North Road.
you mean where
Where the Legion is now.
they did?
Yes, they did. That was a house, you know, there.
Oh, I know, it was a house.
Yes.
That's a huge place.
Yes, well,
Yeah.
Bill Lamb, you asked Bill Lamb, he lived there.
Well, they've added to it too.
Sure, because he was very friendly with Clifford Emmons, you know, young Clifford.
Yeah.
And they used to come in their township school, and the mother used to help me in PTA work.
You don't remember when someone named Alec Keeler had it?
I was called Keeler's Corner.
Was it?
That corner is.
Well, that must have been before Lamb then.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
Mr. Ellison told me that when he was a boy, there was an Alec Keeler. But of course, he's older, and
Yeah.
Yeah.
that would have been
Well,
further back.
that's always been called Keeler's Corner.
Is that
Yeah.
so?
And the next
Never heard
corner,
that.
the next corner is Comical Corner, going toward Mahali.
Mm-hmm.
The one going out toward Orange Mountain.
Yes. What's your version of that? Where they got that name? Do you know?
No.
I've heard.
Well, I'll tell you, with the Comical Corner, I can vision that because that's not a square corner. That's a bad corner.
Well, somebody says that it was conical, like a cone. Conical?
Oh, I always heard comical.
Yeah. So I don't know.
So I don't know
There
either.
are two versions of that.
Well, I know Bill Lamb, and now whether
I
they
never
lived
knew
in
Bill.
part of the house or not, but I know they lived there for a while because Elsie helped me.
They must have built that. They must have lived there then when they built where Raymond's boy lives, because they built that, or land built that house. Where
As a schoolboy, what you used to do when you got up at 5 o'clock.
Well, we had the milk. You had to have the milk over to Birmingham before 8 o'clock because the trains didn't wait for you.
Mm-hmm.
So I'd have to get over there with the milk, then to stop to the store and get our paper and mail and come back home.
Did you have to do the milking too?
Oh yeah, I had to get up at 5 o'clock and help milk. Oh yeah, sure. Oh my gosh, I've done that ever since I was 9 years old. Milk. And so after I got home, well, then I'd have to unhook the horse and put it in the barn and unharness it, change my clothes and get my lunch and walk to school. Then
How far was it?
well, if I followed the road, it was about 1.5 miles. If I cut across the fields, I cut off half a mile. So a lot of times in the wintertime, I would do that because I'd have some muskrat traps set along the ditch to catch muskrats to get spending money. That's where I got my spending money.
How much did you get for muskrats?
Golly, you didn't get much in days. 25 to 50 cents. 50 cents was high. But I did catch a mink once. The first thing I ever caught. That was before my mother died because they gave me a half a dozen traps for to start with. And I only caught one thing all winter, and that was a mink, and I got $4 for it. And that was a long while ago.
That was a lot of money in those days.
Oh, you're right, it was. It was a lot of money.
I bet you even remember how you spent it.
I don't know whether it's or not. No, I don't. But, I enjoyed that. It didn't bother me no more than nothing at all. But then, of course, it cut my year schooling short. I would never get to school much, hardly ever, in the fall after I was 9 years old until Thanksgiving, until fall work was all done up, corn husks and everything. Then, come April, I might have to stop school and go to work again. So
That's
it
the
give
way
you
it used to be to the school children.
give you a short term.
It was a good
You-
thing when they passed compulsory education.
You almost forgot from one year to the
Yeah.
next what you learned the year before.
That's a short time from November or so until
Yeah.
April.
That's the education that I got.
Well, now, of course, I wouldn't want this on this, but I can't understand it now. Maybe you can to tell him or something. I don't
Well,
know.
you were saying before about, Earl, about your father having trouble getting help on the farm
It was.
during World War One.
World War One was bad to get help anywhere.
Yeah,
Then
my father had to sell
Yeah.
out his farm.
it was all over the same way.
1918, my father
Then
sold
that's
that big
when,
farm.
that's when wages started going up, you know, and Fort Dix was right up here.
Can't fix them.
Camp Dix, that's when it started. Where the house is there at the circle going in.
Yes.
That was where our friends George Hawker and his family, all his children were born there, or all but one, I guess, were born there.
Everybody was a carpenter.
And everybody went to carpenter work. If you could drive a nail, you could draw the money. That's all was to it. And
Everybody left the farms.
they
There's a
just
lot of-
left the farms, and that's then a
They
lot of the,
volunteered too, you know. These boys volunteered that was on the farm when they went.
well, I guess they seen what they was going to have to. Well, look,
Well, down our way, they volunteered and went. A lot of young fellas, you know, real young fellas. They all went.
well then out home.
Did your father give up farming then?
No.
My
he
father
didn't.
did.
No, he didn't.
My father did.
I was there, and we had another young fellow from Budtown that worked with us. So the three of us. Then it took more help to run a farm than what it does now, because you had to milk the hand. You had everything that you done had to be done by hand.
Didn't have tractors or anything like that.
You didn't have no tractors, you had no automobiles, you didn't have anything. You had to be a horse and wagon, no matter what it was. And in the winter, if it come a big snow, you had to dig yourself out. Because they didn't have no darn road scrapers, either.
No county road department took you out. Township.
So then there was an awful lot of rail fences them days, and they just were barriers for snow drifts. The snow would come over the fence and land, and gosh almighty, our road run east and west. No, yeah, east and west. And we'd get the north winds, and we had a 36-acre field there. We right up the road, all as far as from the North Pemberton Road over to the South Pemberton Road, put there. And all the snow out of that field would pile up in that darn road. When our boy was born,
1920.
1920, that was after the war then, you couldn't get a doctor hardly out to the house. We had to dig him out to get him there.
Yeah, I had the flu very bad when he was born. And I asked for Dr. Brown of Vincenttown. I got his picture. And Earl, I said the nurse said I couldn't have him back to the room. And I said, I wanted Dr. Brown. Daisy Hollingshead had called it Dr. Darlington, and I was getting sicker, and I couldn't even use my handkerchief. I couldn't eat, I couldn't do anything.
That was the time during the flu epidemic?
That was the second epidemic.
Yes.
See, there was one,
I thought there was one around
Yes,
18, wasn't there?
yes.
18, yes.
Yeah.
And
in
that's when
clinic,
they
yeah.
hauled them out of Fort Dix by the carload.
So I asked for Dr. Brown, and Earl had the flu too at the time. Everybody had it but his father in the house. We were awfully sick. And so when he called, and Dr. Brown said, if you'll take your men and start to dig from your end of the road, I'll get somebody from Vincenttown in and we'll dig.
He had a car then.
And he came.
He did.
He came. And I'll never forget when he got there. Of course, I could understand everything I knew, but I was awfully weak. And he said, Mrs. Sager, you're a very sick woman. I guess you know that.
Excuse me, how did you get word to him? You didn't have telephones then, did you?
Yes,
Had
we
telephone.
did. We did have telephone.
Had one on the wall.
That's-
And I said yes. And he went all over me. He said as far as the birth was concerned, everything was all right. He would just take care of this flu. And he gave Earl a couple prescriptions. And he said, I must have it right away. And he just sat there and shook his head. And he came for 3 days. And the third day I was better. And I'd come so near.
And you had to go up to Pemberton to get a prescription?
Now,
Yeah.
Vincenttown had Vincenttown.
Yeah, they had one at Vincenttown at that
Vincenttown.
time.
And Vincenttown Fire Company.
And that was closer, I suppose.
Yes.
Well, where we lived down there was not much difference.
No. But that
Uh,
road was open, don't you
Yeah.
say? That road was open, and we did have a sleigh. And they got the medicine, but the third day, I was better. I could feel this change, don't you know? And me, I just thought when I was taken sick, taking the labor, I thought it was just that. You know, being my first child and that, I didn't realize that I had the flu. I had a terrible headache, but I didn't realize that I had a temperature and
And the
everything.
baby was all right?
Fine,
Mm-hmm.
weighed 9 pounds. And he came every day for I don't know how long, but that third day I could see him brighten up when he'd come in, you know, and see me. He could tell it was a change. But I didn't walk for a long time. I couldn't walk or do anything for a long time. But that took so much out of me, you know.
Did you have some help then with the baby?
Hmm?
Did you have
Yeah,
help with
we
the baby?
had a,
Yes, we had help come in. My sister came and Marguerite came to help out. They had all got the flu. Everybody that came got it.
Oh,
Just went right through the household. And Earl's father's the only one that didn't have it.
he's the only one out of the hired man that was working with
Yes.
us.
George
Myself,
Simons worked for us.
and my daddy, and Walton Hurd was only four-year-old then, and by gosh almighty, they got it.
that was a bad time, all right.
I want you to see this.
I know that's when my grandmother died. Some other people during that
But-
epidemic.
1918.
Yeah.
Yeah, then
This was
1920. I think-
January 31st it was.
Yeah.
Last day of January. I'm going to show you this doctor. I must show you that.
Oh, what's that picture?
There he is.
On the right here.
Mm-hmm.
And what was his name again? Dr. Brown?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. His first name? Don't remember.
Well, now, wait a minute. I can tell you, I guess, right here.
He had a peculiar first name.
Huh?
He had a peculiar first name.
Well,
And
now.
he lived in Vincenttown.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, we doctor there for
It's
years.
quite some car. What vintage is that car that they're standing around?
No, there's fire engine, I
Oh,
think.
is it? I didn't look that closely.
That was Vincenttown's first fire engine.
Oh.
Yeah.
Tells you what his name is. His son's name is Carlisle.
That name Brown reminds me. Do you know of which Brown's Mills was named for?
No, don't. No, that's been Brownsville's long before I was around, I
I
guess.
know there was an Abram Brown. We've got to look that up.
Well, I knew Abraham Brown, Abe Brown up there.
But it was long before his time, I
Yeah.
guess. Yeah.
Where's that?
Would you know
Can't find
him
it.
if you saw a picture of him? Would you recognize him?
Abe Brown?
Hmm.
I believe I would. I don't know.
We have a picture
I
with
wasn't too familiar with him, but I knew him.
We have a picture of a man with a horse that we think is Abram Brown, and I'll have to show it to you, see if you recognize him.
He was tall. He was tall and thin. He wasn't heavy set. He was tall.
I don't remember. I haven't seen it.
Here's,
for some time.
is this on Marion or not?
I just wanted to ask Birdie what she remembers about farming when she was a little girl. We've heard about what Earl remembered when he was around 9 or 10 years old. Was it any different on your farm?
Well, I think probably it was because we were closer to the Fort Dix. And I think I can remember pretty well of the labor situation. And now it was different in this way about our milk. Our milk went by train in the early years, but later it was 2 creameries in Ricetown, and my father took his milk to the creamery in Ricetown where we didn't have to be there quite as early.
You didn't have to get up and milk and take the
No.
milk
Oh, well, he got up.
before you went to school.
Oh, no, I didn't do any of that. My dad never felt it was woman's place in the barn. Never. It was 5
Did you have any
girls.
brothers?
No, I did not have 2 brothers in the West, you know. They were half brothers. And
But not when you were that age. You didn't.
No.
Not when you were that age. You
no,
didn't have to.
and but there was 5 girls of us. But my dad said that he always had enough to watch in the barn with the horses and cows and everything without us being in danger out there. And see, we had about 45 cows, and he had 9 horses. And he got help from Philadelphia, a great deal of help from Philadelphia. He'd go to the employment agency. And then we had quarters for those men.
And
our
your mother had to feed them?
Oh yes, we had to feed them. And we had quarters, one end of the house for the help. And so we had to do all that baking of bread and cakes and everything. There was no bakery that served the area at all. Nothing come in there so far as baked goods was concerned.
And you lived out on the Cookstown Road at that time?
Cookstown and Ricetown Road. In my early days, I went to the Ricetown School.
And what was your day like when you were 9 or 10 years old?
What was my day like? Well, I guess like most youngsters, I got up and we had to get up real early though to be in school, you know. Because we had to go in that milk wagon. There was no transportation. That was 3 miles almost, you know, from there to Ricetown. And we had to be ready when that milk wagon went. And our neighbor Roy Coley used to take the milk one week, and my father the next. They traded off to take each other's milk.
And how many children would be going in the wagon?
Well, there was 3. How many children left?
Would be riding to school together?
Well, there'd be at least 3 of us, because there were 2 younger sisters, but later they went the same way as I did. And we had a longer day in school than the children have now. And I mean, you didn't, you weren't pushed out from one grade to the other. You had to make it and pass your exams, or you were held back.
Was this a one-room school?
2 rooms.
2 rooms.
2 rooms. And
2 teachers?
2
Yeah.
Teachers?
2 teachers. And I'll tell you who used to be one of my teachers was Viola Thompson, Roche Thompson's daughter from Ricetown. Very good teacher. Mary Stevenson, Mary Urquhart taught in the lower grades for just a couple of years. And then...
That's the Mary Yorkis who's still living.
Yeah, up the street here.
Yeah.
She's still living.
Yeah. And then the other Thompson girl came in there and taught. Really, they were wonderful. And then when it come time, we had to walk home. Now get that, if we walked today, you wouldn't be able to walk that road today. And we would start home at 4 o'clock. It would take us just about an hour. But all down the road would be all the farmers' children, you know. And there'd be a gang of us to walk home.
I bet you had fun doing it.
We did. We really did. But if it was stormy or anything like that, then Dad would come with a big carry-all and take us walk. Whichever one came, they would take as many children as they could.
Did you have animals as pets on the farm?
Any what?
Did you have animals as pets?
No, I don't think we had a lamb once, but that got the best of us, you know.
Well, did it turn out to be a buck?
No, it wasn't that, but he just simply was, he brought us over, you know, and of course we always had a dog as a pet, you know. We always had a shepherd dog, and that was pretty important because we would go get the cows, and that dog would take charge of the cows. Really, just send that dog after the cows, and he ran them right up. That was one thing we did have to do when it was nice weather. But I never went out in the field and worked or anything like that
Did you
because there
help?
was plenty to do right in the house.
Yes, you helped with the cooking?
Yes, I did. Every time my mother went away, I tried to make a cake. I think at the time I was 10 years old, and I didn't realize the cost of anything because we came up here. She came up here to the Barrens store and got her flour and sugar, coffee by the barrel. That's the way that we had to do. And of course we had our own eggs and cream and milk, you know, and if this cake didn't look right, I would take it right outdoors and give it to the chickens, throw it out, see. If it turned out all right, I'd keep it there when my mother came home. But every time she went away, I'd always try to make a cake. That was really something. And I had my younger sister, Grace, you know, would say, oh, well, I don't think this cake's going to be good. I don't think it's going to be good. I said, well, then you take it right out. Well, I don't want my mother to see it. So I always can remember doing that, how much I must have wasted, you know. But really, we had 9 rooms there. And with no electricity, that was another big place to keep clean. We all helped with the work in the house. We all did.
When you have the hired help, how many of them did you have for meals?
Well, that would depend. If we had the thrashers, be 8 or 9 men, we hired day men besides what we had through the week, see, besides our weekly help. And then with corn cutting and husking and things like that, filling silos, we had silos to fill. Dad would always hire extra men. We fed all those men. And you didn't have one day, you had them several days.
That was the custom in the days.
Yes, even when, after I was married, Bob, we used to have, even have them for breakfast. We had to take care of maybe 6 or 8 men right at breakfast, wouldn't we?
Yeah, well, 3 or 4.
They'd stay every meal. So it's different. The women really have it different today with electricity and everything. That
What kind of breakfast would they eat?
Like Dr. Meyer, we mostly had a good breakfast. We mostly always had fried eggs, potatoes, ham. See, mostly always had our own hams and own eggs, potatoes.
cereal.
No pies and that sort of thing?
Hmm?
Not pies?
Not for breakfast.
I remember being up in New England. The reason I asked, a dairy farm that my uncle had, and they had help like that. And I, as a child, I was so impressed because they had pie for breakfast.
Oh, I
Pie.
forgot.
Well, that was in New England, you know, and
My
they,
mother was
I
great
think
for-
they did that more.
My mother was great for making hot bread, biscuit, and that because
We used to have hot cakes a lot.
my mother was from the West, and when she lived out there, she was married twice, and with the first marriage, why, the stagecoach stopped, and the people had to eat there, and so she was accustomed to having hot bread. She always thought that even as long as she lived, that why it just wasn't anything if you didn't make bread or biscuits or have something like that.
Of course, the toaster, I think, took the place of the hot bread.
So, and she made all of her home bread. We made all of her bread and everything like that. So really, it was a job. It really was.
It's a far cry from today, isn't it?
Hmm?
It's a far cry from today.
Oh, yes.
Like
Oh,
got
I
some money
think-
about the price of bread, too.
You
today.
know, I think of this. I think so much today when we need help in our church. We need younger people's help, younger women to help in there with their children.